This universe is at a very delicate stage. Interference will... They were down to the second to last shelf, and none of the books had been what they were looking for. Nita was sweating worse.
The lone power...
Fred, are you sure?
Is the lone power regretting his decisions?
It's dark there. It's all dark. What do you want from me? Kit, kneeling at the bottom shelf, suddenly jumped as if shocked. Huh? Nita said. It stung me. Nita! Kit grabbed at the volume his hand had brushed, yanked it out of the case, and knelt there, juggling it like a hot potato. He managed to get it open and held it out, showing Nita not the usual clean page, close printed with the fine, small symbols of the speech, but a block of transparency like many characters of thinnest glass laid together. Beneath the smooth surface, characters and symbols seethed as if boiling up from a great depth and sinking down again. Nita found herself squinting. It hurts to look at. It hurts to hold. Kit shut the book hurriedly and held it out for him to check, for externally it looked no different from any other book there. Is this what we're looking for? Fred's faint glimmer went out like a blown candle flame with the nearness of the book. The darkness, it blinds. Kit bundled the book into his backpack and rubbed his hands on his jacket. Now if we can just get out of here. Oh, come on, Mike, the voice was saying in the other office. Don't get cute with me. I had an incident on top of one of my buildings. One of my favorite constructs got shot up and the site stinks of wizardry. Your brand, Moonlight Noon-Forged Metal. The voice of the handsome young man in the three-piece suit was still pleasant enough, but Nita, peering around the edge of the door, saw his face going hard and sharp as the edge of a knife. He swiveled around in his chair again to look out the window at that thin plume of ascending smoke, and Nita waved Kit past the door, then scuttled after him herself. That's a dumb question to be asking me, Michael. If I knew, would I tell you where the bright book was? And how likely is it that I know it all? You people keep such close tabs on it. At least that's what I hear. Anyway, if it's not read from every so often, don't I go like everything else? You're absolutely right. That's not a responsive answer. Why should I be responsive? You're not being very helpful. Kit and Nita peeked back into the hall. Fred floated up to hang between them. I get a feeling, Kit started to say, but the sudden coldness in the voice of the man on the phone silenced him. Look, Mike, I've had about enough of this silliness. The bright powers got miffed because I wanted to work on projects of my own instead of following the leader like you do, working from their blueprints instead of drawing up your own. You can do what you please, but I thought when I settled down in this little pittance of a universe that they would let me be and let me do things my way. They said they didn't need me when they threw me out. Well, I've done pretty well without them, too. Maybe they don't like that because now, all of a sudden, I'm getting interference. You say this operative isn't one of your sweetness and light types? Fine. Then you won't mind if when I catch him, her, or it, I make his stay interesting and permanent. Whoever's disrupting my status quo will wish he'd never been born, spawned, or engendered. And when you see the rest of them, you tell them from me that... Hello? Hello? The phone slammed down. There was no sound for a few seconds. Akthanath, the young man's voice finally said into the silence. Someone's soul is going to writhe for this. The slow cold of the words got into Nita's spine. She and Kit slipped around the door and ran for it. Down the hall and into the elevator. He's playing it close to the chest. That angry voice floated down the hall to them. I don't know what's going on. The eldest still has it safe? Good. Then see that guards are mounted at the usual accesses, and have Garm send a pack of his people back time to the most recent gate opening. I want to know which universe these agents are coming from. In the elevator, Kit whipped out the antenna and wrapped the control panel with it. Down. Doors closed and down it went. Nita leaned back against one wall of the elevator, panting. Now she knew why that first crowd of Peritons had come howling after them on top of the Pan Am building, but the solution of that small mystery made her feel no better at all. Kit, they'll be waiting downstairs for sure. He bit his lip. Yeah, well, we won't be where they think we'll be, that's all. If we get off a couple of floors too high and take the stairs... Right. Stop at 4, Kit said to the elevator. The elevator stopped, opening its doors. Kit headed out the door fast and tripped. The elevator had stopped several inches beneath the 4th floor. Watch your step, the elevator said, snickering. Kit turned and smacked the open elevator door with his antenna as Nita and Fred got out. Very funny. You stay here until I give the word. Come on, let's get out of here. They ran down the hall together, found the stairs and plunged down them. Kit was panting as hard as Nita now. Fred shot down past landing after landing with them, his light flickering as if it were an effort to keep up. Kit, Nita said, where are we going to go after we leave this building? We need time and a place to do the spell to find the bright book. Kit sounded unhappy. I don't know. How about Central Park, if we hid in there? But you saw what it looks like from the top of Pan Am. It's all dark in there. There were things moving. There's a lot of room to hide. Look, Nita, if I can handle the machines here, it's a good bet you can handle the plants. You're good with plants and live stuff, you said. She nodded reluctantly. I guess we'll find out how good. They came to the last landing, the ground floor. Nita pushed the door open a crack and found that they were almost directly across from the green lobby and the elevators. What's the situation? Kit said silently. They're waiting. 6 Peritons, black-coated, brown-coated, one a steely gray, were sitting or standing around the middle elevator with their tongues hanging out and looks of anticipation and hunger in their 2 human eyes. Now? Fred said, sounding eager. Not yet. We may not need a diversion, Fred. Go, he whispered then in the speech. The antenna in his hand sparked and sputtered with molten light, and Kit pressed close behind Nita. Watch them. There was no bell, but even if there had been one, the sound of it and of the elevator doors opening would have been drowned out in snarls as the Peritons leaped in a body into the elevator. The moment the Peritons were out of sight, Nita pushed the door open and headed for the one to the garage. It stuck and stung her as the dark book had. She jerked her hand away from it. Kit came up behind her and blasted it with the antenna, then grabbed it himself. This time it came open. They dashed through and Kit sealed the door behind them. No one was in the garage, but a feeling was growing in the air as if the storm of rage they had heard beginning upstairs was about to break over their heads. Kit raised the antenna again, firing a line of hot light that zapped the ceiling-mounted controls of the delivery door. With excruciating slowness, the door began to rumble upward. Now? Fred said anxiously as they ran toward it. No, not just yet. They bent over double, ducked underneath the opening door,
poopy in front of the exit,
and ran up the driveway. It was then that the Peritons leapt at them from both sides, howling, and Nita grabbed for her wand and managed one slash with it, yelling, Now, Fred! Now! All she saw clearly was the Periton that jumped at her, a huge, blue-eyed, brindled she-wolf, as the Rowan wand spat silver moonfire and the Periton fell away screaming. Then came the explosion, and it hurled both her and Kit staggering off to their right. The street shook as if lightning struck, and part of the front of the dark building was demolished in a shower of shattered plate glass as tons and tons and tons of red bricks came crashing down from somewhere to fill the street from side to side, burying sidewalks and Peritons and doors and the delivery bay 20 feet deep. Nita picked herself up. A few feet away, Kit was doing the same, and Fred bobbled over them as an ominous stillness settled over everything. How was I? Fred said, seeming dazed but pleased. Are you all right? Kit said. I'm alive, but my Nasser will never be the same, Fred said. You two? We're fine, Kit said. And I think we're in trouble, Nita added, looking at the block street. Let's get going. They ran towards Fifth Avenue, and the shadows took them.